Check this out.
Welcome to BLPA Big Show. Hockey sports, live for the adult athletes.
Woo! Yeah.
Powered by the Beer League Players Association.
You better follow me.
Follow us, the BLPA, on every social media outlet. Follow the crew on Twitter at Nicker Jones.
Let's get it. Here we go.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? You got Nikki Boston here and Jess. Tonight, Nikki Commish is out of commission. So you're just going to be dealing with the two of us tonight. And hopefully this goes just as well as we usually have when Nick does on. I know he does music and does all that great stuff, but I'm not technologically savvy enough to right, Jess? I've taken too many hits to the head to figure that shit out. So I don't know what to tell you there. How you doing, Jess?
Oh, I've been hanging in there. It's been a rough couple of weeks. I've missed you guys.
Yeah, I've missed you terribly as well. I know Jess, got to kind of, we're going to talk about this, but, guys, Jess lost her dad. So, that's a tough thing for anybody. And I'm sure, the BLPA family is definitely with you, Jess. And, I'm sure, especially when you get on that ice, you can take out some of that aggression as well, too. But, we're there for you. And if you need anything, we're always here for you. And we're going to talk about that tonight a little bit and give an ode to, Jess's dad. First off, guys, always we've got to, give a shout out to our sponsor, Hockey Wolf. They do a great job of providing you with all your hockey needs. I know as a coach, they provide a lot of great stuff for teams, individuals. It's a really great company. So you guys should always go check that out. If you're looking for any hockey equipment for older people, younger kids, anything you need from Hockey Wolf, they'll provide it. Right, Jess?
They will. They're great guys over there.
Great guys. So, Jess, what's I know we've kind of did you watch that video? Actually, Jess, I want to talk about that real quick first. You watched that video that I think Nikki posted of that kid shooting that at the Bailey game of shooting that puck at the bench?
I did not. I was looking for it, and I was actually going through all the comments about how to handle tiebreakers at tournaments, and I got to watching the Bulgaria versus Czech versus Bulgaria. Was it Czech?
Yeah.
The 89-0 game?
Yeah, that's
got
insane.
distracted.
Yeah, well, with the World Juniors and 18 and under, not juniors, excuse me, but the World Championships, that's what just happened over the past week. But Nikki posted a video, I think. I don't know if it was Nikki or someone posted a video. It's a beer league game, right? And this kid, after the game, obviously there was something going on throughout the game. It just shows this pot. The buzzer hits, and the guy skates over to the bench, right in front of the bench, and rips a shot at the team. Like, the game's over. You get what I'm saying?
Oh.
Game's over, and he just rips a shot right at the team on their bench. And you can hear it hit the glass behind him. And then all hell breaks loose, right?
Oh, of course. How are you not going to get your ass handed to you for that?
Yeah, but I don't understand that. That's like something we've talked about before. It's beer league.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that was one thing I never understood too. Like, and that's why I kind of got away from playing in beer league games, because I still had to get up and work the next day. My career was over, right? I was playing beer league for fun. You've got to get up and go to work, take care of kids, whatever you got to do in your daily life. I don't need some ass shooting a puck at me and hitting me in the teeth. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's funny you bring that up, because I actually have several friends, both girls and guys, who are talking about, I'm just kind of sick of playing beer league. I like doing the tournaments and, those tournaments where it's not just like, oh, here's a bunch of 18-year-olds who are going to come down and sandbag, but like decently put on tournaments like the BLPA. Because they're like, I'm just tired of the beer league. There's always somebody out there who takes it way too seriously, who's on who knows kind of steroids or whatever, doing their own thing, that just gets so aggressive. And either they're just making nasty plays, or they're chirping all the time and just being just an unpleasant experience. But I've had, I've heard the stories, and I've had it myself, where you just get people who are even like too drunk, and they'll come and charge after you, and they see you as like an easy target, or I don't know what's going on through their mind. But my friends are like, I'm just so tired of that one guy hacking at me all the time, the one guy cross-checking me in the back of the neck, and the ref's not calling it. And it's funny you mentioned that. It's like, it must be of different leagues, must be different, because I never really experienced that in my leagues in Arizona, but I also was a lower level player. So any kind of contact was because we all sucked really bad. I mean, they're better now. So if those guys are listening to me right now, they're like, hey, we don't suck. But coming out to Raleigh, there seems to be a lot of just, you always just have like dickheads. And it's like,
Well,
guys,
like
all
just
work
like
tomorrow.
yeah, and like just like I've played very good like a beer league. I call it we call it beer league, guys, but adult hockey, right? But it's beer league, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be. And I've played higher level, the elite beer level hockey, and you don't get a lot of that. It's when you get, and not to sound like a pretentious asshole here,
You can
it's
say
when
it.
you get
Yeah.
down to the less better players that's when it gets really bad. And it's like some people just go out there. They don't know how to skate. They don't know anything. They just think it's out there for a melee. And
Right.
I don't understand that. I'd rather, here, I'm going to say it right here on BLPA. If that's the way you are, don't play hockey. Don't play. Just you do us all a favor. Don't come out.
Yeah.
You know,
I've had
if
guys
you,
straight up tell
yeah.
me this is where I get my aggression out. It's like, well, there's like healthy channeling aggression and then there's like not healthy and
Well,
like
yeah. I
eventually
mean,
it's going to come back to you.
well, getting your aggression out, you can get your aggression out by skating hard, shooting the puck. That
Right.
I can understand because I've done that. If I need to
Yeah.
get some energy out, yeah. But if your aggression is because you're going to two-hand a guy, or like you said, get you in the go after a girl in the back of her neck because it's hockey. Don't play. Just
Right.
don't play. Do me a favor. Nikki Boston is saying it right here. Don't play. If that's the
Don't
way
play.
you are, don't play the game because you're making an embarrassment out of yourself and the game. So I just wanted to cover that real quick, Jess. I know I want to talk about a couple other things here. But I just thought that was really, kind of
Yeah.
screwed up. First off, that guy does. And I think it happens a lot more in beer league than it really should. Right.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a good time. Again, we've got to get up. We're not getting paid to do this anymore. Yes, at some point in time, I got paid to play hockey, which was fantastic.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
And I'm
awesome.
still getting paid because of hockey, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But there was a span in my life where I didn't get paid anymore to play hockey or anything to do with hockey. I just did it because I loved playing. I
Hmm.
had to get up the next day to work or whatever. I didn't need to be going into work, as in big level sales with a big black eye because some guy thought he was an idiot out there. It just didn't make sense to me. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, you don't have the convenience of makeup like we do. I mean, you could sit there and put some nice makeup on.
I'm pretty enough.
Yeah, yeah. Try to like cover it. Yeah.
So, Jess, what were you saying a little bit about the like the overtime and the with the Bulgarian game and everything?
Oh, the tiebreakers?
Yeah, tiebreakers.
Oh, yes. Okay. So Nick must have had some kind of issue or maybe not issue is not the right word, but situation. It sounded like at maybe the Columbus bash over the weekend where there was a tiebreaker that people weren't happy with. And so he posted and asked what like clearly my decisions and how I run the tiebreakers are not good enough for everybody. If what do you think what the tiebreaker should be? And I can't remember exactly what his rules are, but a lot of people talked about, well, like the tiebreaker should be whatever you want it to be. These are the rules. You sign up for the tournament. You play in the tournament like you agree to the rules, and you should just like let it be.
Yeah.
What I found fascinating was there were quite a few goalies who were posting, and they're like, like I hate to say this, but if like you can't do like a head to head rather than doing like penalties and minutes because refs between one game and the next can be significantly different, call no penalties for one team, but then you get two different refs who do the second game and call all the penalties, so like that's not really fair. But the goalies being like goals against rather than
Yeah.
goals for. And
Ooh,
so somebody
hold on.
posted that video of what I think it was Czech and Bulgaria, that 89-0. And I could be butchering these. I know it's definitely Bulgaria because I'm a little bit Bulgarian, so I remembered that one, where it was like one goal every like 49 seconds. And the point being of goals for probably won't be a good idea for a tiebreaker. So what are your thoughts? If you
A
could do
goal,
tiebreakers,
when you said goals for, goals against, I didn't think of that. I've never seen a tiebreaker be goals against in any of my hockey. I've seen goals for, I've seen
Mhm.
points, I've seen head to head, I've seen, that's really the gist of it. But I've never seen goals against. That's different. I don't know.
It is.
I don't know if you could do that though. I mean, I guess you could. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess goals against
Yeah.
would be good. I mean, I guess goals against would be good, but at the same time, like you just said, you're blowing a team out. I don't know. I don't
Right.
know.
So you
I
also
don't know.
have the, what do they call? It's not the hat trick rule. It's like the mercy rule.
Yeah,
Because I just did women's nationals in Tampa last weekend. I can't even keep my week. Yeah, it was more than a week ago. Um, and they have the mercy rule where, like, if it's more than 7 goals differential, that's all it gets counted for, right? It's just
yeah,
7.
yeah,
And so you can only have 7 for, and I think only 7 against. And so it kept teams from, it was supposed to keep teams from running up the score, although that did not happen in the games that I played. We definitely had some more goals than that scored against us, but that's okay. We were here for fun,
yeah,
and of course playing hockey together. But
yeah.
so at least with that aspect, you're keeping, if a team decides to blow it out, then they're not being encouraged to blow it out by running it 89-0, and also your goalie isn't getting punished for 89-0. But somebody made
Yeah,
the argument that it keeps your team engaged in that way, because then encourage more people to play defense and to back check.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. I do like that. But at the same time, too, because it's, I'm kind of thinking, like you're saying, goals for, goals against, right? So, say the other team, it's a goals against situation like you're talking about, right?
Mhm.
Well, if the other team knows that and they can still run up the score, they're going to screw up that head to head anyways because you just had so many goals against. You
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
If it's goals against, goals for, it's kind of the same thing a little bit because of the fact that say you have a team like that, like the Bulgarian situation, right? It,
Yeah.
the goals against, he just had 89 goals against. You get what I'm saying? Even the other team had 89 goals for. So I don't know. I don't know, Jess. I like it
Yeah.
because I like that because I agree with you. That's what I'm thinking. That last part you just said, it keeps that team engaged, right? It keeps you on your toes because you got to play defense. You don't want to score, let as many goals in. You don't want to, you're working on defense, and of course goalies are going to say that because now they're not going to be left out to dry, right? You know what I mean? A
That's true.
goalie's going to say that, Jess, because now they're making that team. It's going okay. Now, if
Yeah.
they do it that way, my team's going to be engaged. They're not going to hang me out to dry if it's goals for.
Fully.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to go. The team could go 4 for V1. You got what I'm saying, and try to score and not play any defense. So
Hmm.
it's how you want to play. I guess it's really about how you want the tournament to be. Do you want
Right.
it to be a fast-paced, high-scoring tournament, or do you want it to be a little bit more defensively aggressive? But here's the other part of that. Just like we were talking before, that 5 minutes ago, about people being jerks and stuff like that. If
Hmm.
you do it for a goals against situation, guys in their D zone will start getting nuts. If we're trying to stop you from scoring, that's when people.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very good point.
It becomes a little bit more aggressive
That's
because
true.
I'm gonna be a madman on D, right?
Yeah.
Where instead of being a madman as a forward trying to put the puck in the net, I'm gonna be a little bit more aggressive on the D side because that's what
Mhm.
matters,
Yeah.
and that's when people get into trouble.
Yeah, very
And
true.
most of the bullshit that happens in beer league happens in the D zone. I know it's D zones for both, but I'm talking front of the net bullshit,
Yep.
corner
100%.
bullshit.
Yeah,
It doesn't
corner.
happen, when it's up and down. It's when the puck's in the zone and things start getting running around because guys get tired, they get aggravated. It's some guys out there dangling. He's just going to get a two-hander. So it's I don't know. I guess they really have to feel out the tournament. I think it has a
Mhm.
lot to do with location. I think it has a lot to do with the attitude of people. But
Yeah,
I think, like you said earlier, if Nick puts it in what the rules are and they're clearly stated, there should be no
there should
argument.
be no debate. Yeah.
Then
Now,
don't play. You don't like it,
yeah.
don't play.
Now, if we take it a step further in thinking outside the box, now you said if it's a tournament, right? And depends on the type of tournament. So, the BLPA likes to put on and have a great time. Like it's not just about hockey, it's about the camaraderie. Like, don't be a dick, come out and have fun. So, you could also have tiebreakers be something that's non traditional.
You
So,
could too, and I
we had
like
some
that
people
stuff.
suggest rock, paper, scissors. I saw somebody suggest having like the team chug, kind of like we do in the draft tournaments, in order to pick your team number. My team always seems to come in last place because we don't cheat. Nick, Jeff Peck. So, so you could always do that. People were like, "Oh, I'll do a shootout," and I even chimed in. I was like, "You should do a goalie shootout, like the goalies shooting out on each other. That would be entertaining." Of
well,
course, a couple of people were like goalie fight. So people were
you
coming
know
up
what you
with some
could
creative
do?
solutions.
I'll do this. I do it as a bag skate for my guys. What I'll do is I'll line them all up at the goal line, right? All at the goal line, and I'll give everybody a puck, and they have to shoot and score from one end to the other, all the way down to the end, right?
Hmm.
If they miss, it's all the way down and back. They miss again, then it's all the way down and back twice. If it's all the way down, and it keeps going until someone scores or they get four in a row, and then it's done. And
Yeah.
even at the higher levels, that's not an easy thing to do. It's because your eyesight and everything. You could do something like that. I mean, there's
Hmm.
options. I mean, you could do some sick shit like we've done. You know what I mean? I mean, we've done some sick
Yeah.
stuff when it's come to practices and stuff. Like I've had a guy, take off, have guys, whoever could slide the farthest on their bare skin on the stomach on the ice. I've had that. um,
Hopefully you're not
it,
hairy. I feel like that just would not end
no,
well.
I mean, going out there with just your jock strap on. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you could do. I like that though. I like that. You know what I
Yeah, they're
mean?
coming up with all these other like creative ways. Like, what else
How
could
many
you do?
how many beers you could drink out of your skate? That's gross. But
Oh yeah. Somebody's like, oh, flip cup. I'm like, oh, that would take a lot of coordination, but I guess you'd have to do like
you could
flip
even
cup
do it, but you
before
could
the
even
tournament
yeah,
starts,
but you could even do something cool. Like if you had like it's a good way to get sponsors too. Like you do like a spicy chicken wing contest, right?
Oh yeah, you
Like
might regret that the next day, but
but say like you get like a sponsor, like I don't know, some restaurant in the area. It's a good thing if you ever do put a tournament because sponsorships are big, right? You
yeah.
get Jimmy's Chicken Shack or whatever down the street, and they have to eat, 10 of the hottest. Whoever can eat 10 of the hottest, whatever. I mean, you can eat the hottest, spiciest wings that they have, in a record amount of time. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do, and that's what the
Yeah.
point of beer league tournaments is supposed to be. Like you said, it's not
Yeah.
just about on the ice; it's off the ice,
Yeah.
and and that's why BLPA is a good time, right? I
It
mean,
is.
that's why those
Yeah.
tournaments, not to pump our tires a bit, but that's why those tournaments are a lot of fun because it's not just about beer league; it's about just having a good time while you're there.
Yeah. And it's fun to see that more and more people are thinking outside the box. I think, as we've been talking about the enforcers going away in the NHL and trying to having even like our games in beer league, there's not a lot of that. I mean, you've got, like I said, the dickheads that are going to be dickheads, but even more like it's based on skill. But the people are also having more of this mindset of like hockey should be fun and not just about like trying to hurt each other. So I love the idea. Like, even like rock, paper, scissors. I'm like, hey, it's quick,
Yeah,
it's
flip a
easy.
coin.
We don't
Yeah,
have to like try to coordinate the whole team to show up early from their hotel or out of their drinking binge, and wrestle them from the parking lot. Cause you're always going to have those issues at the bashes. Like I mean, I've slept on the concrete at a bash before, like next to my car. Like, I don't
Wait,
care. I'm tired.
sleep or pass out?
Yeah, combination of both for sure. There's alcohol involved. But I like that people are thinking
No, it
creatively, and I
is,
do
and
think
it's
that
good.
would be something he could try at one of his bashes and just say like, "Hey, by the way, like if there's a head to head, we're gonna do X, Y, and Z, and and see how it goes. And like if people don't want to do it, then they don't want to do it. But also that kind of weeds out the people who are less fun. So
Yeah, and I think,
give it a
why
shot.
don't we do this then, Jess? Once you guys see this, because I know we're just recording, we're not live tonight, right? But once you post this on live, what we want to see in the comments underneath this is out of the box tiebreakers. All right, guys, post out of the box tiebreakers that you can think of, not just hockey stuff like we've been talking about with
Mhm.
Jess. We want to see, we want ideas. So make sure you're not only subscribing and watching and doing everything, but make sure that you're putting those comments and likes in
Yeah.
there as well too, because that's how we can get in Nick's ear a little bit about doing some fun stuff with these BLPA tournaments.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
Shoot, we
you
could do a
know,
fashion show. Like you have to go to Goodwill and your team has to go to Goodwill and whoever can put together the worst looking outfit for the
this,
cheapest, something like
yeah.
that where it's
Yeah,
something
or the
completely out
guys,
of the
yeah,
box.
who can look like a girl, or who like, you know what I mean, wear a you know what I'm saying, like a
Yeah.
beauty pageant kind of thing. You know what I
We
mean? That would be
definitely
kind of fun.
we definitely rated. So anybody who's ever played at Advent Health in Wesley Chapel in Florida, there
I
is
know
a
it.
Goodwill that is right there, and it is
Yep.
like a really nice Goodwill. So our team was losing. Lady Canes, shout out to the Carolina Lady Hurricane C team. We're always number one in fun. We have fun on the ice together, but we don't always win things. So a few of us, we went into the Goodwill and we're like, I wonder if there's like some trophies. Like, let's find like a bowling trophy or like a softball trophy, and we'll just like award it to ourselves for fun. Couldn't find any trophies, but we ended up walking out with like random helmets. And I actually have this helmet right here. As I drop it on the floor. This beauty.
Wow, look at that thing, huh?
I can't. I've got a helmet or my ponytail on, so you can't really see it all the way.
Well, Jess, right? Even at the pro level and the NHL level, after every game, a helmet is a special kind of helmet. It's a made up helmet.
Really?
Okay, yeah. So juniors, pro, everything. That's why I'm kind of like this. Just know this. So even
No,
at the
not at
NHL,
all.
yeah. So what they do is after every game in the pro, even at the pro level, college level, junior level, major, junior, what they do is after every game, we give out teammates, give out awards, right? Hardest worker, MVP, and those are it. And the hottest worker is usually a hat, and it's some kind of hat or helmet. Like
Okay.
it's either a doctored up hockey helmet, or it's like it's a cowboy paper hat, anything. I mean, I've seen some crazy ones. That would be an awesome one. You've got to put like whatever your colors are, Jess. What I would do is like paint it like a certain color and start doing that, because that's a cool thing. They do it at the NHL level.
Yeah, it is a
It's
special.
a teaming thing. It's not like done by the news or anything. It's the team
It's the team.
aspect of it.
That's what I
Yeah.
asked. I was like, Jake, what should I do with this? And he,
Yeah.
because
Give it
like,
to like the best player, hardest worker, best player,
yeah,
most fun, best attitude.
it's
That's what we do. We do it after every game. The NHL does it.
that is awesome. That's good to know. So I will definitely keep it. I was going through. My dad had just passed away, and I was like, he would have wanted me to go play nationals. Like he wouldn't have wanted me to just like sit at home and cry. And so, we got that helmet and it was just like so funny. We were wearing it through the weekend. I straight up wore it. I saw how long I could wear it for. I wore it like all the way on Sunday, like through the airport, as much as I could through my flight. I had to take a nap a little
Seriously?
bit. Yeah, no, I was wearing it and I was like, and people were probably like, obviously people were staring, but I was just trying to have good, lighthearted fun.
Yeah, of
But that
course.
was
Like she needs to wear a helmet.
like she needs to wear a helmet.
A
Yeah.
helmet. Yeah.
I also
Well,
had a roll of toilet paper. So, something that I've started to do as I've gotten older is I'm tired of that like crappy one ply that you get at your hotels or at your ice
forget
rinks
about it.
when like you're eating terrible food and you're drinking a lot. And so
Oh
I will
yeah.
buy like Charmin toilet paper when I
Extra
get to
stuff.
wherever I'm going.
You're a beauty.
And
You're a
and so we
beauty.
had one roll left and I attached it to my suitcase and like the little like in your roller bag how there's usually like some like random clip for attaching
Yeah.
other bags. I attached my toilet paper to that and I was like, let's see if I can make it back to Raleigh with like this and with this intact. And sure enough did. So between my helmet and my toilet paper and carrying my hockey equipment, people were like, what
This
is,
is awesome.
but that's part of what makes the sport fun, right?
It
Is
is. It is that craziness to it. Trust me,
yeah.
it's that craziness to it. Well, Jess, I'd like to, since we're kind of talking about it a little bit, I'd love to, obviously you just lost your dad, and that's a tough thing and something that I never want to go through. And but it'd be nice to kind of talk about maybe how,
Yeah.
what it was he big with you getting started in hockey? Did he, kind of get you going? Was he, did he come to your games? And what kind of interaction did he have with you in the sport?
Yeah. So we kind of touched on this a few weeks back, actually, like how we like influences in hockey. And I believe I mentioned my dad. And funny was like a couple of weeks prior to his death, I had shared with my family, like, hey, by the way, we're like live streaming tonight. And I guess my mom and my dad listened and they're just sitting there. My dad's just sitting there like, oh my gosh, my daughter has this foul mouth that like I did not raise her to be like this. Like I went to like Catholic school growing up, right? Like all girls Catholic school.
I
So
hear you.
like very much my mom was like, oh yeah, your dad was like this, and just like what? But so he's originally from Syracuse, New York, and between his family moving and college, he ended up migrating to Arizona via Oklahoma. And the Coyotes came to Phoenix in I want to say 96. The 97 we started
Was it
going to
that?
camp.
Was 96 was when Phoenix came?
Yeah, I want to say it was 96 because I think the Hurricanes
Yeah,
came
I
like a
guess
year
so.
later.
I'm gonna look that up real quick, because I mean Winnipeg. Yeah, I guess it had to be.
The migration, yeah. And this is before the Arizona Diamondbacks were there. And
Yeah,
so my dad loves baseball. I mean, the Phoenix Suns were, and the Arizona Cardinals, but for whatever reason, he wanted to go to the hockey games. And so we had like a partial ticket package all the way through when I went to college. And he would alternate between taking my sister and I. Well, as my sister got older, she wasn't really that much into hockey, but I still loved going to the games. So we went to a bunch of games together, and I always told him and my mom, I want to play, I want to play, I want to play. Now, I grew up a competitive swimmer. So hockey and swimming are like, I mean, they both involve water,
yeah,
but vastly different sports. And my parents are
yeah.
like, no,
1996. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
96?
1996. Go ahead. Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah. So yeah, they've been there a while. So they're like, when you're an adult, you can do whatever you want because hockey's expensive and it's dangerous. Like you can get hurt, but like we can't stop you as an adult. So when I was a little bit out of college, at a job I was working, we had wear your jersey to work day because it was March Madness, and not everyone's a basketball fan out west, believe it or not. Like the world doesn't revolve around basketball like it does here in North Carolina. So me and one other person wore hockey jerseys. And so we got to talking, and she's like, hey, there's this learn to play at Oceanside Ice Arena, which unfortunately is being torn down right now. Um, it's like $20. You come out there, they give you all the gear, and you do a practice, and you learn to skate, and it's like the gear is for rent. And I was like, this is amazing. Stepped out there. I mean, of course, I was terrible, fell in love with it. So I started playing about 10 years ago now. Um, had was doing it on my own. I finally told my mom. She's like, well, we're going to need to tell your father. Not sure how he's going to react. So I still remember the moment we were standing in our driveway, and I told my dad, I was like, by the way, I've started to play ice hockey and I'm playing in a league. And the first words out of his mouth was, I think you're making a huge mistake. And I say, Dad. He's like, well, Jessica, like hockey is dangerous and hockey is expensive. I'm like, oh, I'm aware, but like this is a lot of fun. So he came around to the idea. It didn't take him very long. And sure enough, for every game that they could, my parents were driving down to Oceanside to come watch me on Sundays.
That's awesome.
And then when I moved away to North Carolina, because I don't have any family that's out here, whenever they came to town and visit, they came to my games. And kudos to Live Barn, actually.
Oh yeah.
I went back and pulled up the footage the last time my dad saw me play hockey at the rink that I play at now here in North Carolina. And that was really it was emotional. And so I found out he died and I couldn't get back to Arizona with the flight. Anyway, long story. And my boyfriend, Jake, was like, come play hockey tonight. And I was like, okay. He's like, what else are you going to do? I was like, well, nothing. And so, of course, like I shed some tears on the bench and just remembering that, like, like the last time my dad saw me play ice hockey was here at this rink.
Yeah.
But like I did kind of do that cheesy thing where I recorded it on my phone of like the last time he was there to watch me play, and recorded like us giving each other hugs like after the game. But I had a friend of mine who was watching our game because her boyfriend played on the opposing team, and she had told me after that game, by the way, your parents are so cute. They cheer you on. They are just so excited. So my dad did a complete 180 and just went from, I think you're making a huge mistake, to being like my
Absolutely.
number
Biggest
one
fan.
So
That's awesome, Jess. Oh, that's awesome.
And at that tournament in nationals, now I never score goals. I'm usually a passer. Our very first game. So my dad always wore this. Well, he wore a couple hats. So this was like his like fancy hat that he always wore, and I brought it to the bench with me, and I put it on a stick, and so it sat upright. I think it was like the second or the third goal of the game. I get a moment where the puck comes to me, their goalie is down, and I have that patience, and I lift the puck and score a goal. And I swear there was not a dry eye in that arena.
Oh, really?
All my teammates came and jumped on me, and somebody said, your dad, like something about my dad. And I was crying. They were crying. Our fans like knew about it. My boyfriend was shedding a tear. Like it was just really special. And I think it was like a really good
That's awesome, Jess.
way to bring
Jess,
him
that's
into
awesome.
the life after my life without him. So that was really special. But I did some digging. And so I found some things that he had. And look at this hat from this team that doesn't exist anymore, the Phoenix Coyotes.
Yeah. Now the Arizona, right? The Arizona
They're the
Coyotes.
Arizona Coyotes. Yeah. But look, that's that old school Kachina logo that they're using right now. So
I remember when Jeremy
days.
Roenick was there, he with that, and JR, he had that with those jerseys. That's like old school.
Old school. I loved him. He was my favorite player growing up, and I like wanted to play hockey because of him. And I actually met him a couple years ago. There was this curling event that NBC put on where they like Jeremy Roenick toured with like a couple other people, and they were here in North Carolina, and I wore like a Coyote shirt, and I went up to him and I was like, hey, by the way, like I was such a big fan of yours, and you're part of the reason like I play hockey today. And he was just like so humbled, but also I think I made him feel really old. So sorry about that, Jeremy Roenick.
He's from Boston, so he's like I played in a summer league with him. It was him, Tony Amonte. Yeah, it was called the Top Gun League.
Yeah, he played for the Oats. Yeah.
Yeah, Top Gun League. He's from Boston. So he played at Boston College for half a year before he went major junior, but whatever. But he went to a place called Fair Academy, which we played against in high school. He's older than I am, but they played at St. Seb's there and stuff. So there's a Top Gun League. It used to be Top Gun League. It was an amazing summer league. Okay, I mean, Jess, it was beer league. It was parking lot in the locker room and stuff, but it's JR, it's Tony Amonte, it's I mean some of the Ray Bork. I mean it was a big league, and it was a lot of fun and stuff like that. But he'd go out there wheeling dealer with that long hair and everything, and he's a good guy. He was out of his mind, but he's a good guy. He's funny as hell. He talk about a storyteller. He can tell stories like Mother Goose.
Oh
you know what I mean?
I'd love to just be a fly on the wall for that. Yeah.
Well, Jess, that's awesome stuff, Jess. I mean, I know, Jess, like you said, you've only been involved in the game for 10 years. I've been in this game for 40. And, and my dad, my dad never played the game growing up. He still can't skate, right? He played basketball and stuff, but he is absolutely, not only my best friend, but my biggest fan. He always has been, always will be. Never mind as a kid driving me to every single friggin' tournament, and he loved it because he would be hanging with the other dads and stuff. But, like I was telling you earlier, he made a lot of sacrifices and did a lot of things. But I think, you know, as much as we enjoyed it, they enjoyed it. Like my dad loved it, right? Not because of me. He loved the whole atmosphere. It was a whole new world to him, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was
Yeah.
pretty cool. Like I said, you know, my senior year in college, my sister was really sick, so they had to leave Boston and they moved to Las Vegas. And back in Boston, you know, at Merrimack, but it was a big deal. I was captain, the whole thing, right? Hockey East. I mean, you know, he bought, like I told you, he bought 38 plane tickets in bulk. He
Oh
would
my
take the red
gosh.
eye every Thursday from Las Vegas and watch me play Friday, Saturday, and then take the red eye back on Sunday, Las Vegas. Now, if we had an away game, like if we played University of Maine or UNH, he would take my car. He would come to my campus, take my car, and then drive to wherever the games were. I
That
mean,
is so awesome.
I mean, 38. I mean, it was insane, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's insane. That's
that
insane.
is. Yeah.
but
I'm sure
at
it's
the
much
same,
cheaper for flying than it is today,
yeah.
but still
But the thing
expensive.
is, what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say
A
is
lot of
like that
time.
the dedication to not only you, but it's that love of seeing you do something that you love doing.
Hmm.
And I think as a parent, I mean, even though I'm not a parent, you know, I mean, you know, I've got stepkids, stuff like that. But I think it's that love of seeing you do something that you love. You get what I'm saying? Your dad
Yeah.
being able to watch you do something that you love doing, he loves it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that, and that's an awesome. I think that's just it's an awesome thing, and you know, an ode to your dad, and you know, hats off to him, and a couple stick taps for him as well too, and a couple clicks because that's pretty awesome.
Hmm.
Um,
And he was
and you
he
know,
was very proud of me, especially because like most of the I don't think he ever saw me play women's because we travel. So it was always beer league, and he was always very proud of me. Like you're just this little girl out amongst all these big guys. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm very aware sometimes when I'm like, oh, you're gonna crush me, okay. But I'd be curious to hear from some of our listeners if you guys want to comment. Share us a story. Share us maybe like
yeah,
a special moment. Just keep my heart warm because I'm going through, it was an unexpected loss. And he was 68 years old. So it's anything. I'm just loving to hear from other people and them sharing stories about stuff. So yeah, we will love to share us a story about your family or who your biggest supporter is or a special moment. And I'll go
yeah,
in and read. I might shed a tear or two, but you won't see that. I'll just pretend to be
absolutely.
badass and solid.
No, absolutely. That's good stuff, Jess. And like I said, you know, I don't know if you know what a couple clicks means. When a new guy, and this is something when a new guy comes to a team, like in the pros, or someone gets traded or something, it's the new guy. The coach will go, "Okay, a couple clicks for the new guy." You know, Nick Camarata in the locker room and stuff. So really, a couple clicks for your dad, and you know that's an awesome thing. And you know, I'm really sorry for your loss, but you know,
Thank
having a
you.
memory like that and kind of cherish those moments, because that's just another thing, right? I mean, I know you've had memories, you know, with other things, vacations and stuff, but because of the game of hockey and you know, and being able to do those things, it's just more memories
Yeah.
built, right? I mean,
Yeah. Oh,
the memories,
absolutely. It really brought us together. I would say
yeah, and the
we would talk
memories that
hockey
I
and
mean,
baseball, but mostly hockey. And
even now as a coach, my dad is my biggest supporter. I mean, he calls me every day. What's going on here? Do you have trades going on? What's going on here? What's going on there? You know, boom, 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 right? And it's, yeah, and my, you know, he's been sick and stuff. And my mother's like, you know, once you got back into hockey, it's almost like he came back alive a little bit, right? He's got a little
Mhm.
bit more of a jump in his step. And
Hmm.
I'm not saying it because of, you know, we just had a grandson and stuff too, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
it's because he's got that. What are you doing? Like he'll text me, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? I heard this, I heard that. Bum bum bum. And it's just, and it's like what I'm trying to get at, Jess, is like again, he loved seeing something that I love doing, so he
Yeah.
loved it. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
And I'm sure your dad felt the same way. So you know, again, I'm sorry for your loss, Jess, but that's awesome. You have those memories and hold on to
Mhm.
those because that's something pretty cool. And we'll have to maybe get a jersey made or something like for it, and we can hang it. You can hang it up or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, I could
You
do
know,
that.
we could
Yeah.
do something like that. That'll be pretty cool. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
It might make me cry. Kind of like Marchand was, probably doing after
Oh, don't even
Boston
talk
did.
about it. Yeah, You had to do it. You just had to kick me in the balls, didn't
I
you?
did. I just slid it right in there.
You slid it right in here. You had to kick me in the nuts.
Or I called that. I was talking to someone the other day. I was like, look, wouldn't it be funny because Boston had like a record-setting season? It's
Yeah.
like, wouldn't it be funny if they did what like the Tampa Bay Lightning did a few years back, where they had an amazing season and then just like shit
But
the bed in
this,
the
but
first
here's
round, and
here,
then like Boston did it? You're like,
or because this is not the first time we dealt like in the Boston area. I mean, remember the Patriots went 16-0, and then they
mhm.
lose the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It's that same kind of feeling to us right now. Like because in the bad thing is I don't think Bergeron's coming back. I think he's done. He took a pretty bad injury, and that's like not having it, losing Chara and now losing Bergeron. That's the end. First off, an end of an era, right? Because when
Yeah,
they won the
it
cup,
really
they haven't
is.
won a cup in forever. But Bergeron brings a calmness to the Bruins. He brings a leadership. He brings a classiness to it. He's almost like a Stevie Yzerman kind of aspect to it. And without him, as much as I love Marchand, he's not that type of guy,
Yeah.
which he's not
Different
supposed to be. That's not it.
personalities.
Marchand.
Right.
Yeah, Marchand explodes on that getting under your skin, and that not a lot of calmness to him, but you need that calmness. You
Mhm.
need someone that just hold on a second, like Sidney Crosby or Connor McDavid
Yeah.
has that kind of, and that was made Stevie Yzerman such a great, captain, and Joe Sakic. Those are great captains because there was a calmness to them that they
Mhm.
could, boys, settle down a little bit, right? And without the Bruins having that, so that's gonna this hurt. This one was tough. It
Yeah.
was tough to see, and I don't know. I don't know. They went all in this year, trade wise and everything. To lose in the first round, that's
Unexpected.
no
Like
bueno.
every data model out there, I'm a data analyst, right? So I like to look at data, but it's like, how during the season they'll stack up the teams and say like who's most likely to win. And of course, like Boston had like really good odds. And so it's kind of
Yeah,
like March Madness where you're like, well, that was an upset and just everybody's brackets are busted. So I
yeah.
think the playoffs will be very interesting. I didn't expect the Hurricanes to make it out of the first round. And I know that's really bad as a
I
Canes fan to
think
say that because we lost
I
Fetch.
think the
So
sleeper. I think there's two sleepers. I think the sleeper is going to be Dallas. Is sleeper. I'm telling you, they're in the second. They just made out of the second round. They're going to be a sleeper team. They
mm,
are a team that no one's really expecting, but they're just playing some good hockey, right?
yeah,
Um,
I think
you
the
know,
game is about to start here as we're talking about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think Dallas is going to be the sleeper here. I
Hmm,
don't know if they're going to pull it
okay.
off, but they're going to be. I think if they get past the second round here, I mean, obviously it puts them there, but they're going to make a nice little. I think they're going to be the sleeper team. It's going to be
Okay.
fun to watch. It's going to be still
Yeah.
going to be fun to watch, right? What happened with the Edmonton series? Do you remember?
Mm,
Did
I
Edmonton win? They did, right?
Edmonton,
Yeah,
Yeah, the Oilers.
BLA. Yeah.
it's
They did.
Vegas.
So Edmonton and Vegas are going at it. You can
Yeah,
tell I've been
Edmonton and
out of the
Vegas.
loop with the whole funeral and stuff that I'm like,
Yeah, Edmonton and Vegas, and I think
yeah,
I'm hoping Edmonton. I'm a big Edmonton fan, like I've said before. I always have been, ever since the Gretzky days. And Kevin Lowe was one of my favorite defensemen, and so I'd like to see Edmonton because I just think Connor McDavid's something special.
so good. Yeah,
He's ridiculous good. I just
so
don't
good.
know if
Yeah.
they have the depth.
Depth.
You know what I mean? And that's what wins it. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's
Mhm.
kind of like but the Bruins being taken out, it's open right now,
Right.
right?
Wide open.
Wide open. So it's going to be interesting, and but I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And so. Well, Jess, it was
Yeah.
awesome tonight. It was awesome talking to you. Like I
Yeah.
said, a couple of clicks to your dad. Even without Nikki Commish, we pulled it off anyways.
Yeah.
So I guess we don't need him. But anyways, no, Nikki, we missed you, bud. We
We
definitely miss
do.
you. We
Yeah.
miss you. But Jess, it was great having some one-on-one
Yeah.
time with you, kiddo. And again, I'm sorry with your dad. And if there's anything I can do, or I'm sure the BLPA family guys you know, let's make sure we're supporting Jess and write some good comments, like I said, under this video, you know, stuff about the tiebreakers, and obviously, you know, put some good stories about, you know, maybe with your dad, your mom, some feel good stories about how you got started in the game under the, you know, under this video. And but it was great being able to do this tonight. Jess, I love you, kiddo. Yeah, really talking to you, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.